Hey everybody, welcome to Dave TV. What are the butt bongo fiesta glasses? The side toward face. Used only for the Howard Stern 3D video, not for sunglasses or any other use. Okay. Somebody did lend me the tape of that. You know, all those old Howard Stern videos are all up on YouTube anyhow, so you can probably watch them all there, but I made a personal copy for myself. Why? I don't know. What am I? Welcome to Dave TV for the 4th of September 2014. Just wanted to let you know that we're celebrating our 17th anniversary this month here on DCR TV. And a half, if not more, of all the revenue to pay for this magnificent complex here, half of the revenue comes from you, the donors. Okay, ads are great. Yeah, but honestly, this year we've lost a couple big advertisers. We've actually lost 3 or 4 of our biggest advertisers. Okay, we have. We used to have Comcast Sportsnet, and we had an ad from Hearst Radio, and we had an ad from the U.S. Naval Institute, USNI. Those are some of our bigger advertisers, and they all backed out this year. You know, but the smaller advertisers have come through. And in fact, I'm actually making a teeny tiny bit more money this year than I made last year, but I still need to make more. So I'm just saying, if you know, 17-year anniversary, send us 17 bucks, send us 170 bucks, send us 1,700 bucks, send us 17,000 bucks, or how about 17 million bucks, whatever you can afford. But put a 17 on. Now, nobody gets 17 cents, you know, $1.70. Make it start with $17. So, you know, whatever. And, you know, make it at least 17 bucks, we'll give you a year of DCRTV Plus. So, all right. Oh, so what am I wearing today? Not camo. It's a not camo day. Dave's not camo day. These are nice. They're basically the same cut as those camo pants. They're just kind of an drab, dark olive colored, but I like them a lot. Cutoffs for the heat. It's hot and all that rot. So anyhow, everyone's saying Dave, Dave, Dave. Can you see this? Look at this. Where is this? Where is this? Oh, I won't do that because it will show his number. But I got an interesting call from an interesting radio biggie just a few minutes ago, and I was going to show you the caller ID to prove it, but it lists his number. I think that's his home number, and I don't want that going out. That wouldn't be good. But anyhow, that's what happens when you're Dave. Shaved Dave. So anyhow, radio ratings for August 2014. What's going on? Okay, we're going to look at that. As I say, we're going to look at the money demo, which is the 2554 numbers. God, I just got thirsty. Oh, I don't know why. The money demo, age 2554. And that's what we're going to see. So number 1, Hot 99.5. And they're, you know, straight on number 1. In fact, if you want to say, they're just as strong as ever. They're first place in mornings with the Kane Show, 3rd place in middays, 1st place in afternoons, 1st place on weekends, 1st place in evenings. So, you know, in that money demo. Now, TOP, if you look at the overall 6+ numbers, is number 1. And Hot 99.5 is down to number 3. But when you look at the money demo, Hot 99.5 really performs. TOP comes in 2nd in that money demo, full day, 2554. 3rd place in mornings, 4th in middays, 3rd place in evenings, 2nd place, or 3rd place in afternoons, 2nd place in evenings, 4th place on weekends. Here's a surprise, DC 101. DC 101 comes in 3rd place in the money demo. That's really interesting. And that's up for them. Yeah, well, no, they were 2nd place. Okay, we're looking at the weekly numbers, but they were 5th place. 5th place in June, 5th place in July, 3rd place in the money demo in August. So that's pretty good for them. Kane. Elliott is 5th place. Middays are 1st, and evenings are 2nd. So they do pretty well. Wash, again, very strong. Another Clear Channel. Okay, so that's Clear Channel. Clear Channel there with DC 101. Clear Channel there with Wash at 4th place, 6th place for Lou in the mornings. So they're doing well. And trend-wise, you know, they were 2nd place in June, 4th place in July, and 4th place. So they're still doing pretty well. WHUR, which always does well, 5th place, down a little bit from 2nd place in July, but then they were 4th place in June. So, you know, they're up and down a little bit, but they're still doing strong. 5th place in mornings, 7th place in afternoons. WAMU, BAMU. Now, WAMU comes in 2nd place in the overall numbers, the 6 pluses, but in the money demo, they're down to 6th place, and that's because of the skew old factor. That, you know, a lot of their listeners, or percentage of their listeners, a good percentage of them are probably older than 54, and they don't count in that money demo of 25 to 54. That's the problem WMAL has. You know, they do very well if you count all their listeners, but if you cut them off at 54, they have a lot of their listeners that are over 54, and then they sink like a rock. So anyhow, WAMU is 6th place, mornings 2nd place, afternoons 7th place. PGC, okay, they're now a solid top 10 performer. They were 8th place in June, 6th place in July, and they're 6th place again in August. So they finally, Steve Swenson's got at least one of his stations solidly in the top 10. So that's good, I guess, for Steve Davis, too, who's now the programmer over there. Still, you know, mornings 13th place, but their middays are 5th and their afternoons are 6th. So they're doing quite well. The evenings at PGC are 3rd, so that's where they're really showing some strength. So anywho, good news for CBS. Okay, and then some more good news for CBS here with wait a second, was there a tie for 6th place? Yeah, okay, yeah. WAMU and PGC were tied for 6th, right? Got it. Fresh 94.7 Fresh FM, WIAD, 8th place. 10th place for Tommy McFly in the mornings. That's mainly steady through the summer. GTS, Christian Contemporary, 91.9 is in 9th place. That's, they were 12th place in June, 9th in July, and 9th place in August. So that's good for them. Big, Big at 11th place. There again, 9th place in June, 12th place in July, 11th place in August. Their morning show's 15th, afternoon drive is 11th. MZQ is 12th place. Again, that's, they took a little bit of a hit back in the spring, but then in the summertime, their numbers came up. They were 9th place in June, 10th place in July with a 2554 crowded, 13th, or excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong numbers here. They were 9th place in June, 10th place in July, and 12th place now. So they're a little bit of a slump there, but their morning show with Bobby Bones is doing better at 14th place. That was down quite a bit when he first came on there in the springtime. WMMJ 102.3, definite downward track for them. 102.3 is seeing a bit of a slump. They were 9th place in June. They're down to 13th place now. Tom Joyner is at 10th place. Seems a little bit of a slump for him there, so I don't know. JFK 14th place. Yeah, it's holding pretty steady. Maybe a little bump up because the Nationals are playing so much better. They're doing so well. That's probably helping them out. In fact, their evening numbers are 7th. They're in 7th place, and that's clearly the Nationals. The winning ways of the Nationals. 7th place there for them. Or 14th place overall, 7th place for the Junks, and an 18th place for Chad. Chad and Jeremy. Remember them? They were tied for 14th place with MAL. WMAL, I think they were 12th place or something in the 6+ numbers. They're 14th place in the overall 2554s, 8th place in mornings, 8th place in middays, 17th place in afternoons. So there you go. WPRS, they do better in the 6+ than they do in the 25 to 54s. They were in the top 10 in the 6+, but in the 25-54s, they're 16th place, which is about kind of where they've been. They were 18th place a couple months ago. So they're also doing pretty well in the overall numbers. And again, I think part of the reason is with a gospel format is they skew old. You skew old, you don't do as well in the 25-54s. 19th place, WTOP FM, about steady for them. WTEM at 20th place, about steady for them. Baltimore's QSR is 21st place. About steady for them. WNEW is 22nd place. Again, they're inching up closer to that 20th place. Get up to that. One of the numbers for the overall numbers for the 12+ or 6+s A couple weeks ago, they were hitting 20th place, but they're at 22nd place, excuse me. 22nd place, 23rd place in June, 22nd place in July, 22nd place in August. So again, it's a very, 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 very slow climb for them, but they are climbing very, 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 very slowly. So this is their third-year operation. So maybe by like year 5 or 6, they might be 17th or 16th place at this rate of climb. But they're going up. But it's very, very, very slowly. Wink FM out of Winchester, 23rd place. They're actually showing a little bit of a jump from 28th place. Back in July. So they're doing pretty well. WFRE Frederick, 24th place. You know, it's about where they usually are. WAFY Key 103 in Frederick, 25th place, tied with BQB in Fredericksburg. WRQ in Balto, 27th place with KDV, the little Spanish station there. 29th place, WDON, and BQH, the Mexican station, 29th. And Christian Contemporary out of Baltimore, RBS at 29th. And WAVA at 29th, and so on. Dan Snyder Sports Talker SPZ at 33rd, and so on and so on. So, you know, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, you know who I forgot to mention? RQX. How did I skip them? I don't know. I skipped right over a couple of them. Okay, we skipped over Elzal. Elzal is 17th. I don't know why I skipped right over that. And 18th place is RQX. Now, again, with that new morning show, I don't know if these August numbers are really going to take into impact all of that, because they're probably just the starting days of that new morning show, but there's no traction of anything at RQX yet. 18th place, full days. 19th place in the money demo in the mornings. 21st, middays. 16th in afternoons with Marco. And 17th evenings and 15th on the weekends. You know, again, it may just be a little too early. We'll know more by when we see the September numbers as to whether all those changes with Sarah Frazier in the mornings are going to really matter, or whether we're going to pull the plug and put Nash FM on there. I think if we don't see some changes in RQX within the September and November and October and November books, if there's no traction there by the end of the year, I'm pretty sure Cumulus is going to pull the plug on that format, and we're going to see probably Nash, a country format, on WRQX. I wouldn't be surprised. So anyhow, but again, I'm looking at these numbers, and there's nothing terribly earth-shattering. Boring, dull. All right, folks. So that's the big news. Any huge big news going on today? Big cuts at USA Today. I mean, they let go 60 people yesterday. I don't know. $2 for that paper? It ain't worth it. It just isn't worth it. I can't imagine anybody buying it. Who's going to spend $2 for that little? It's rather thin little paper. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And you look at the Washington Post yesterday, they ran this big NFL preview section. I don't know how many pages it was, 12 or 14 pages, and it had just 2 ads in it. You know, that's the problem that the Washington Post has. The Nationals do a whole lot of ad buys. You know, you see the Nationals advertisements all over the sports section. Redskins won't touch the Post. And, of course, Dippy Dan Snyder. And then we got more. Okay, here we got another thing with that guy, the GWU professor, who's filed a challenge against, what's his name, John Danzeff, filed a challenge against the license of WWXX, the 94.3 simulcast of Dan Snyder's WTEM Sports Talk, ESPN 980. Why? Because they have the Redskins mentioned on there. Come on. It's just a lawyer with a bunch of money who's trying to tie things up. You know, there's no way the FCC is going to reject the license of WXX. It's just he's being a fly in the ointment. Dan Snyder's millions of dollars. He hires his lawyers, and they'll fight his Bansuff lawyers and the FCC, and it'll just tie things up for the renewal. But it'll get renewed. You know, come on. Then what do? You go for the license of any station that mentioned the word Redskins? Well, let's see. You have to go for all the TV stations in the Washington market, maybe all the TV stations in the country that run sports. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? You know, you may be offended by the term Redskins, but, you know, there's nothing illegal or immoral or whatever about saying it on the air. You know, I don't know. It's like, I mean, the term Chris Plant offends me deeply, but I'm not going to file a challenge against the WMAO's license because they say an offensive term like that on there. All right, folks. Thanks for watching Dave TV 17th anniversary. Don't forget to help support the site. Book Bill Lord. Bye-bye, baby.